Well, this is it. I know you guys have been waiting for this stream for a very, very, very long time. I've been wanting to do this stream for quite some time. So, it is here. It is here. So, it's here. Keep in mind, everybody, that this stream took a lot of time and effort to make. And it took a lot of, and what do I mean by that? It took a lot of time and effort. That's all I'm saying. It took a lot of time and effort, and it took a lot of trial and error, and so on. So without further ado, let's get started. This is it. This stream is dedicated to the Five Nights at Freddy's full, complete timeline. I've been wanting to do the stream for quite some time, and it is here. So, again, without further ado, let's get started. Here it is. Here is the whole Five Nights at Freddy's timeline. There is no animation. I decided not to animate it because it'd take a lot more time and whatnot. But trust me, it will be worth it. So what you guys are basically going to see is basically just me reading what is presented in front of you. You see all these words and whatnot. That is basically what I'm going to be reading. I know it's probably going to be boring, and there's probably not going to be that much viewers, but that's not the point. The point of the stream is to let everybody know, just to get the preference of what was going on during the Five Nights at Freddy's timeline. A lot of people have been theorizing it, like game theory and so on, but I officially found what happens and what happened in the Five Nights at Freddy's timeline. This took a lot of research and so on. Research and time and effort. So, if you guys could keep up, then that'll be good. If you guys want me to add some music, or probably not, because if I can't add any Five Nights at Freddy's music, you guys probably won't be able to hear me. But this is basic, and if you guys want to get a little preference on how long this timeline will be, yeah, it goes on forever. It goes on forever and forever until there. It literally goes on forever. I wrote this timeline back probably last summer. So it's not technically up to date, so it's not today. So because I wrote this during last summer, so yeah. So anyways, sit back, relax, get some drinks, get some food, and so on, and try and keep up. If I know there's not going to be that much viewers, but that's not the point. Again, that's not the point. So anyways, I'm going to say this one more time. Get some food, get a drink, sit back, relax, get a blanket, do something, and because this is going to be probably a this is probably the words of an essay or a thesis, like, good lord. It's going to be long. But anyways, just try and keep up. Another thing that I want to mention is, I do apologize if I stutter. That is a thing of mine. I cannot handle it. So I'm not expecting to be so perfect, but I do apologize if I do stutter. So anyways, I'm going to stop talking, and I'm going to start with the Five Nights at Freddy's timeline. Alright. Our story begins in the late 70s to early 80s. William Afton and Henry Emily have opened a brand new diner called Fredbear's Family Diner. This diner was a home to two animatronics named Fredbear and Spring Bonnie. These suits were made by Henry and featured something called spring lock technology. Spring locks were a mechanism created by Henry to save money on animatronics. Just starting off on, just starting out on a small business, just starting off at a small business, they really couldn't afford animatronics and suits. So Henry came up with the idea to combine of both of them. Henry designed Fredbear and Spring Bonnie, and William Afton created the sister location animatronics. I need to also keep track on where I'm locating. Anyways, sorry about that. As stated in the Silver Eyes, with the creation of Lefty in Fnaf 6, we know Henry has somewhat of knowledge. Henry has somewhat of knowledge of animatronic creation in the diner. In the diner, William Afton covers the business side of things, like taxes, paperwork, and so on. Over the course of the few months, the business is doing well, profits are up, people are enjoying themselves, and William Henry's partnership is working out wonderfully. At this point, they're ready to branch out and create more locations. This leads to the first major event of the timeline, Circus Baby's Pizza World. So from that first lines of sentences, I'm pretty sure you guys can kind of get a preference on what's up or what's going on. So, anyways, I'm going to continue reading and stop talking. But anyways, yeah. Now from here, the timeline starts to go downhill. The events of Five Nights at Freddy's 4, Circus Baby's Pizza World, and so many new characters. So many new plot lines introduced in such a small period of time. William Afton and Henry Emily work on 2 separate projects, the Fredbear and Friends TV show, and of course, Circus Baby's Pizza World. Henry has little to no involvement in the Circus Baby project, so William is pretty much free to do whatever he desires. This is where William Afton's true motivations come to center stage. Ever since the beginning, William only had one goal. That going be is immortality, as you can see right there. Immortality. With Henry doing his own thing, William decides to create Baby, an animatronic built to capture children. Also animatronics like Balloon Boy, JJ, Ballora, Funtime Freddy, Funtime Foxy, Biddy Bab, and Minarinas. All of these animatronics were built with the intention of capturing children, including things like chest cavities and voice mimic softwares, and etc. William's plan is working out perfectly, and everything is ready to go. This establishment opens in 1983. I want you guys to keep an eye out on the years when each stuff goes on. So in this place, it takes place in 1983. William brings his daughter Elizabeth Afton and his son Chris Afton, also known as the Crying Child, to the establishment, and then disaster strikes. Elizabeth Afton, William Afton's daughter, is killed the very first day Circus Baby's Pizza World opens. She's killed by the baby animatronic, as we see in the sister location minigame. Elizabeth goes on to possess the baby animatronic, as we see the eye color change from blue to green. The newly possessed Circus Baby, as well as the other Funtime animatronics, are transported to the underground bunker we will later explore in Five Nights at Freddy's sister location. Before we move on to Five Nights at Freddy's 4, there's a very important detail I would like to touch on. You may have noticed that I was specifically mentioning Chris Afton, also known as the Crying Child, who came with William and Elizabeth to Circus Baby's Pizza World debut. That's because Chris Afton sees Elizabeth gets killed by Baby. Have you ever wondered why Nightmare and Nightmare Fredbear have teeth in their stomachs? It's a very subtle detail, but they are definitely there for a very intentional reason. To a child's perspective, at least, it looks like that Circus Baby is eating Elizabeth through her stomach. In Fnaf 4, it seems like the Crying Child, also known as Chris Afton, is scared of the animatronics for a little to no reason. It's even more confusing when you realize he loves the characters, but he is even scared of the animatronics. Honestly, yeah, it makes perfect sense. He's scared of the animatronics because the animatronics murdered his sister, and he loves the characters from Fredbear's Family Dine, or from Fredbear and Tate. I'm sorry, I'm stuttering. It's a thing of mine. Fredbear and Friends TV show that just came out. By the crying child witnessing Elizabeth's death, we really get some questions we really could not answer otherwise. And with that very long, important side note out of the way, let's finally discuss the first game in the series, Five Nights at Freddy's 4. Just a few days after Elizabeth is killed by Baby, Chris has a birthday party at Fredbear's Family Diner. At his birthday, his brother and Michael and 3 other bullies accidentally kill him by putting him in the mouth of Fredbear. As we see in the final cutscene of the game, we hear a hospital flatline indicating that the crying child, also known as Chris Afton, has died. People have been debating a lot about Fnaf 4, like the box and psychic friend Fredbear, but one of the most things people are debating about to this day is Fnaf 4 real or a dream? A reason why this is so debated on is because there are actually a lot of evidence to support both sides. Supporting the side it's real, we have an illusion disc in the Twisted Ones book. These discs completely change the appearance of Funtime animatronics, and since we know that Sister Location Bunker is connected directly to the Five Nights at Freddy's 4 house, it's not that much of a stretch. If you want more rock-solid proof, look no further than Five Nights at Freddy's VR Help Wanted, where we literally see the Nightmare Fredbear, and Nightmare Yawn. Let's take a look at the side of supporting that FNAF 4 is a dream. Of course, we have the IV bag, flowers, and pill Easter eggs everyone knows about. We also have the voice lines in UCN indicating that FNAF 4 is not real at all. The voice lines from Nightmare Freddy and Nightmare Fredbear are: Nightmare Freddy says, "I am given flesh to be your tormentor." And Nightmare Fredbear says, "This time, there is more than illusion to fear." These lines indicate that before they were not real, they could not do any harm to anybody because they were a dream. And now in UCN, they are made of flesh, as Nightmare Freddy says. There is still the whole stomach-mouth thing, as I mentioned earlier. Also, in FNAF 4 is a dream, we can explain the origins of Nightmare. Nightmare is sort of the Grim Reaper of type thing, the embodiment of death. The final thing Chris sees before he dies is a shadowy version of the Nightmare who took his life away. So which is it? With all the evidence out on the table, do you think FNAF 4 is a dream or real? I'll let you guys choose real quick before I say my own personal opinion. I'll let you guys type in the chat what you guys think in the chat before I say what's my own opinion. Well, I think that FNAF 4 is a dream and not real. Now, before you all ask, I don't know why they all appear in FNAF 4, in FNAF VR. I really don't have an explanation for that. Sorry. The reason I think it's a dream and not real, because one, how do they breathe? Yes, I know you guys are gonna say with through their mouths. I heard it a trillion times, so don't even try. Number 2, why would the sister location animatronics attack Chris? And number 3, how would you explain an animatronic like Nightmare in UCN voice lines under that theory? So yeah, for this timeline, I'm going to believe that FNAF 4 is a dream and not real. So with that out of the way, let's move on with the timeline. The bite of 83 happened, causing Fredbear's Family Diner to shut down. So that means in a few short days, William lost all of his business, both of his kids, and presumably his partnership with Henry has ended. With William taken off, never to be seen again, Henry decides to sell off the IP to a company that we will follow on for the rest of the timeline and for the rest of the Five Nights at Freddy's storyline. Fazbear Entertainment. So now we are ready to talk about the ages of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Fazbear Entertainment does not want anything to do with the characters that caused tragedy in the past, like Fredbear, Spring Bonnie, and the sister location animatronics. So they decide to use the Fredbear and Friends cast, which is clean by the way for the mascots for their new pizzeria. The animatronics would later become the withered animatronics in Fnaf 2. Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy. Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy debut in their very first pizzeria in 1985. So if you guys were keeping track, so basically Circus Baby's Pizza World took place. Circus Baby's Pizza World and Fnaf 4 took place in 1983, and now where we're at right now takes place in 1985. So just keep an eye on what year is keep going throughout the eras. I will highlight zoom in on the year so you guys can make sure it is in your head. So yes, as I said, we are now in the age of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Even though we never see this location in any of the games, it's one of the most important in the whole entire timeline. Of course, we have the missing child incident and the puppet's origins. But before we jump into all of that, I just want to quickly address the year. 1995. 1995 was never brought up in any of the game's lore. 1987, that's FNAF 2, and 1993 is Circus Baby's Pizza World and FNAF 4. So where does 1995 come from? It actually comes from the first Fazbear Fright story, Into the Pit. Okay, in that story, before I say this, I just want to quickly address, if you have not read Into the Pit, click off now for probably about 10 seconds, because this contains spoilers. But therefore, I have read Into the Pit before, so yeah, if you don't want to hear any spoilers, go ahead and click off for about 20 seconds, maybe even 15 seconds, and then I'll go over so on through the timeline. In that story, Spring Bonnie murdered 6 children in the year 1995. This parallels nicely into the game because the first Freddy Fazbear's is the only location where 6 children are murdered. Puppet, Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy. And of course, Golden Freddy. But I'm getting a little ahead of myself, so let's go ahead and backtrack to the first major event at this Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. The first major event, that being the murder of Henry's daughter. The question I have always had with this is why? Why does William murder Henry's daughter? He murders her in a drive-by. This has nothing to do with the experimentations. So what's going on? Well, personally, I believe William killed Charlotte, also known as Charlie, out of spite. William still is emotional and angry that he lost 2 of his favorite kids, while Henry still has his daughter. Perfectly fine. Like I said, this murder has nothing to do with his twisted experimentations, but it's for revenge. In a way to get even, if you will. You have to remember, even if William is sick and twisted, he really did care about his kids. After Elizabeth was killed by Baby, he set up monitors in the child's room to keep an eye on him during the day, so nothing bad would happen to him. He also used psychic friend Fredbear to scare the crying child from getting too close to the animatronics. Of course, they both still inevitably die. But William did care about his kids and their safety. Since they are both so close to each other, hold on 1 minute, sorry. Hold on, I lost my point. Hold on 1 minute, sorry. I'm sorry. Hold on, where was I? Okay, hold on. Sorry, I lost my track. Oh yeah, of course they both still inevitably die. But William did care about his kids and their safety. And since they are both so close to each other, he really has descended into madness. Madness. Okay, I'll shut up now. Madness, where he's pretty much willing to do anything. So anyways, getting back on track, William kills Charlie in a drive-by and then she goes possesses the puppet. However, he still has unfinished business with the pizzeria. Keep in mind, however, William knows the animatronics can get possessed. The sister location animatronics he built them specifically to capture children and experiment with them. But once he saw that they could possess the animatronics, he is trying to find out why, and more important, how. He returns to the first Freddy Fazbear's Pizza and lures 5 children into the safe room wearing the Spring Bonnie costume and, well, kills them. Those children's names were Gabriel, Susie, Fritz, Jeremy, and a child named Cassidy. Though these children are stuffed into the suits and they possess Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, and Golden Freddy. We all know which child possesses which animatronic based on the gravestone ending in Fnaf 3 ending. The mask layout matches up with the gravestone layout. Of course, this does work, and the animatronics are possessed now. His experiment was successful, and it did come at a price. And as we see in Fnaf 4 news clipping, he was hot, I don't know, and convicted. However, as we see on the monitor in Fnaf VR Help Wanted, when you die, nothing was ever proven in the court of law. Even though we all know he did it. They never found the bodies, so they can never fully convict him and put him in jail. So in the end, he came out unscathed. His experiments were successful, and he never got caught. And now he is one step closer to his goal of becoming immortal. However, the same cannot be said for the pizzeria. The animatronics are starting to stink, and blood and mucus are coming from their eyes. So this place gets shut down pretty quick, and thus the first Freddy Fazbear's Pizza is officially shut down. So to recap, William goes back to the first pizzeria and kills 5 children, and they possess Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, and Golden Freddy. Golden Freddy is a special case, however. He is actually possessed by 2 people. I will get into that in the Five Nights at Freddy's 3 section. But now let's move on to Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Similar to Five Nights at Freddy's 4, Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is similar to... I'm sorry, I'm stuttering a lot. When it comes to this, like reading and stuff, I always stutter, so I do apologize. Similar to FNAF 4, FNAF 2's story is pretty straightforward. 2 years after the original Freddy Fazbear's Pizza shut down, the new and improved one opened in 1987. This is the new restaurant features the toy animatronics, Toy Freddy, Toy Bonnie, Toy Chica, with facial recognition systems to prevent others' tragedy from happening. The original animatronics are now the Wither animatronics as well. The puppet are transferred from the first Freddy Fazbear's Pizza to the new and improved one. Balloon Boy and JJ are sorry. I lost track. I'm sorry. Freddy, Balloon Boy and JJ are also brought out of the retirement from the sister location Bunkered, where the location opens. the man by the name Jeremy Fitzgerald is taking the position as the night guard. And what's really interesting to me is a lot of his game story is actually given to us through Phone Guy. For starters, this is where we 100% confirmation the bodies were stuffed into the suits. And this is how we know because Phone Guy says this. Hello, see, I told you the first night wouldn't be a problem. You're a natural. By now I'm sure you noticed the older models sitting in the back room. Those are from the previous location, and we just use them for parts now. The idea first was to repair them, but they were just so ugly. The idea first was to repair them. They even started retrofitting them some of the newer technologies, but they were just so ugly. And the smell. Once William hears there's a new Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, he goes undercover as an employee, as we see on his badge in FNAF 2, in the FNAF 2 Save Them minigame. If any of you guys are able to piece together, congratulations, yes, William becomes the daytime security guard. Using the Spring Bonnie suit, he kills 5 more children and is being threatened to shut down. I got this from Phone Guy. Hello, what on earth are you doing here? Didn't you get the memo? This place is closed down, at least for a while. Someone used one of the suits. We had a spare in the back, a yellow one. Someone used it. Now none of them are acting right. So in short, 5 children are murdered in the new and improved location. Also, we know throughout our playthrough of FNAF 2, it's like I said before, the location is being threatened to being shut down. But now comes the question, why did William do this? Alright, that's a lot of reading. I'm telling you right now, that is a lot of reading. And I don't think we're even halfway done with this. Are we even? Oh my god, we're not even halfway through this. Dear God, we're not even halfway through this. Okay, I'm gonna actually start reading the chat now. Hi, it's fine. Hi. Okay. So why are you reading this? Iconic, hello. I'm so confused. Why are you reading the script? What, this script? Well, I'm reading the timeline. How many pages? About 9. That's all I'm saying. Probably, if I had to sum it up, probably to 9. Yeah. I'm telling you now, it's really tiring of talking and whatnot. Okay, anyways. So, it's a lot of talking. I do apologize again if I'm stuttering, but yeah, anyways, I'm gonna stop talking right now and I'm just gonna get back to the timeline. Similar to the whole Five Nights at Freddy's dream or real thing, there's also another huge debate from FNAF 2. Are the toy animatronics possessed or are they just corrupted? In my opinion, at least, I don't think the toy animatronics are possessed. I personally think they are alive because of something called agony. What is agony, you might ask? And where does it come from? Agony is introduced to us in the Fazbear Fright stories. Basically, it means that things can be alive and moving but are not possessed by an actual human spirit. But rather, they are powered by the human emotion in agony. I personally believe this for a couple of reasons. Number 1, these spirits never got their happiest days. They never get closure. That is why I don't think they are possessed. Also, I mentioned earlier, they are stuffed inside the suits. So, how do they possess the animatronics? Well, my answer to that is, they don't possess them. In fact, the agony is created from the tragedy is so strong. Not only the toy animatronics, not only from the toy animatronics moving, but the creature called Shadow Freddy and Shadow Bonnie, also known as RWQ, are created of them. I'm sorry, I cannot speak today. English are created. Both of them are visual representations of the agony that has happened at this location. If you want more rock solid proof, go look at Fnaf AR, where Shadow Bonnie spawns. In conclusion, the toy animatronics and shadow animatronics are creatures created by agony, not actually human spirits. So let's get back to the question I asked earlier. Why did William do this? Why did William do this? Personally, I think he's done this because he wants to see if the children can possess the animatronics without being stuffed inside more of that experimentation immortal stuff. The location is about to close. Oh, I spelled too wrong. Let me go ahead and fix that. Can I? Oh, it must be view only. Oh, well, anyways, about to close, but not before one major event happens, and we know that there is one more major event because Phone Guy tells in FNAF sister location night 6. We have one more event scheduled for tomorrow, a birthday. You'll be on day shift. Wear your uniform. Stay close to the animatronics. Make sure they don't hurt anyone. Okay? For now, just make it through the night. When the place eventually opens again, I'll probably take the night shift myself. On the restaurant's final day, Jeremy Fitzgerald is moved into the day shift, but Jeremy Fitzgerald has moved on to the night shift and is bit by the animatronic Mangle in an event that will always be known as the Bite of 87. Oh my gosh. Whew. Oh man, it's a lot of talking. I'm sorry, but jeez, man, we're not even halfway. Again, we're not even halfway. Whew. Oh man, we're like 30 minutes in, but whew. Oh man. Oh man, we're only 34 minutes in. Dear God. So I'm actually gonna ask you guys, how do you guys think of the timeline so far? How do you guys think of the timeline so far? Is it interesting? Or something like that? How do you guys feel about the timeline? I'll let you guys type in the chat. What do you guys feel about the timeline? Whew. How do you guys feel about the timeline? Man. How do you guys feel about the timeline? It's very interesting. It is very interesting. Interesting. Yeah, it is very interesting. BB and JJ are not in Circus Babies. Yes, they are not in Circus Babies. They're in they've been transported to the new and improved one. Yeah, and lore filled. Yeah, this is why I said at the beginning, this took a lot of time and effort. So it definitely took a while just to do. It took me a lot of time and effort to type this whole thing. I typed this in Google Docs. I literally typed this and it took forever. I'm actually going to be right back. I'm actually going to go get a drink of water because I am very, very, very dehydrated. So if you excuse me for just one hot second, I will be right back. Alright, sorry about that. I am back. Sorry about that. I had to go get a drink because I was super dehydrated. But now, we's back. Alright, get out of here. Alright. Juicy timeline. Yeah. It's very interesting. It really is. And I'm glad you guys are enjoying this because this took a lot of time and effort and whatnot. And, So with that said, that pretty much covers FNAF 2. As we see from the newspaper at the end of the game, the toy animatronics are being scrapped and the wizards are being kept for possible reopening. Sorry. That reopening being the third Freddy Fazbear's Pizza we see in Five Nights at Freddy's 1. Good old Five Nights at Freddy's 1. As you would expect, this game really does not add, does not really add a lot to the overall story. There are really no murders in this location, or if there are, it really doesn't matter, or if there are, I really missed them, or if there are, I may have calculated correctly, or something like that, I don't know. It's just Fazbear Entertainment trying to be, once again, to get a Freddy Fazbear's Pizza to be successful, but it's not. What do you expect? It's Five Nights at Freddy's. Of course it's not. I do want to address something, however. A lot of people are confused with the Wither animatronics are the classic animatronics because their endos are so different. I think our answer to that question comes from Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted. As we all know, William gets into FNAF VR as Glitch Trap through the circuit board. I've had a lot of trouble saying that. Circuit boards. There we go. Fazbear Entertainment scanned. So, what if instead the Ando somehow being refurbished into the new animatronics? What if it's actually the circuit boards? Circuit boards from the Wither animatronics are being put into the classic animatronics, and maybe the souls are stored in the circuit boards. It makes a lot of sense if you really think about it, because why would Fazbear Entertainment go out of their way to refurbish the Wither animatronics into the classics since they are so different? It makes sense because that they would recycle the circuit boards. However, they're cheapskates. Another thing I want to address is newspaper clippings. Personally, I do not believe those clippings talking about this pizzeria in FNAF 1. I think they are talking about the very first Freddy Fazbear's Pizza in 1987. That's mostly because I said earlier I don't believe there's any children murdered in this location. One thing I want to clear up before we move on into the timeline is the date FNAF 1 takes place in. Based on the game theory video, I've actually watched a video on this, the game theory video, a lot of people seem to think that FNAF 1 takes place in 2003 instead of 1993. In that video, this is what Matt Pat says to make us think that FNAF 1 takes place in FNAF 3. Freddy Fazbear's Pizza was founded in 1993, as we see from the VR coins in FNAF Help Wanted. In FNAF 1, Phone Guide tells us that the animatronics have been around for 20 years. That puts FNAF 1 into 2003. Yes, I suppose looking at it that way, or that perspective, would make a lot of sense, but here's the thing. FNAF 1's lure is pretty weird because it really isn't connected to the games because it was first. The 20 years line indicates that FNAF 1 location has been open for 20 years, which makes open for 20 years, which we know is not true. But in my opinion, Scott is putting the minimum wage rate at 1993 because it seems a little bit more intentional than a throwaway line like 20 years. Listen, Matt, Pat, buddy, I love you. I love your videos and whatnot. Your theories are great, but come on. Bruh, How much faith do you want me to have in you? Like, when anyways, you don't even know who Jack O'Bonney is. Anyways, this pizzeria closes for one reason or another. And then, get out of here. Anyways, this pizzeria closes down for one reason or another. And then we get to cut scenes from Fnaf 3. After realizing their souls are contained in the circuit boards, William Afton puts his soul into a circuit board as well, specifically the Spring Bonnie circuit board, and then returns to Fnaf 1 location to get rid of the animatronics once and for all. He dismantles the animatronics and unfortunately unleashes all the spirits. The spirits then force William in the Spring Bonnie suit, where he is crushed to death by the spring locks. Knowing William is killed in the spring lock failure, Fazbear Entertainment seals up the safe room, and Spring Bonnie's suit, now becomes Springtrap, will not be recovered for a long time. Whew! Man, I'm telling you now, it takes so much of your breath away from this. Like, oh my god. Whew! Phew, man. Oh my gosh, we're like 40 minutes in. Yeah, we're like 42 minutes in. Every sentence, it takes like 10 minutes just to read. Oh, this one's going to be a long one. Okay, where are we? Okay, so we're almost near the end. We're literally almost near the end. So, don't worry everybody, we're close to the end. That's all I'm saying. Whoo, man. Man, oh man, jeez, okay, I'll stop complaining now. Next up in the timeline is Fnaf's sister location. We know this happens here because of what the hand unit says about Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, and this is what he says on the first night of Five Nights at Freddy's sister location. Due to the massive success, and even more so the unfortunate closing of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, it was clear that the stage was set, no pun intended, for another contender for children's entertainment. So, yeah, because of that line, in my opinion, I think that this comes after all the Freddy Fazbear's Pizza are shut down. I'd say anywhere from the late 90s to early 2000s. In the game, we play as Michael Afton, the bully from Fnaf 4, and the final child William has left. He was sent on a mission by his father, William, to rescue Baby and free her from the location. We know this because the final cutscene and Sister Location Custom Night, and this is where Michael says at the end, "I found her, and I put her together, just like you asked me to. She is free now." As we see by the technicians and hand units, this place has been active for decades. The fun times are reunited out for private parties, hence why almost all of them are possessed. They have been always captured children for, like I said, decades. Anyways, the story has been pretty self-contained plot. Michael explores the location for 5 days, and the animatronics all combine into Innard on the final night. Scoop Michael Afton and wear his skin like a suit so they can leave. It's pretty morbid. Of course, after a while, Michael's body starts to rot. Innard bails and somehow he is still alive. This is where Remnant comes into the picture. You see, in Fnaf 6, the blueprints about the scooper are pretty interesting. As we see... Oh, no. Hold on. Jesus Christ. Hold on, I lost my place. Hold on, lost my place. Okay, where was it? Okay, I always lose my place because I'm just talking so much. So, I do apologize if I keep losing my place. Okay. You see, in Fnaf 6, the blueprints about the scooper are pretty interesting. As we see, the scooper injects Remnant into the subjects. Remnant is how Michael Afton was able to survive being scooped, and how William Afton was able to survive the springlock failure of FNAF 1. Spoiler alert, he's not dead. He's not dead. So that explains that. Ugh. So that explains that. But what is Remnant? What is Remnant? We don't know exactly what it does, but what we do know what it is made out of, based on the fourth closet. In the book, William melts down the possessed endoskeletons of the original animatronics and puts the remnant into the Funtime animatronics. This tells me a couple of things. One, it lets me know that remnant is made from multiple souls. Two, it tells me that the Funtime animatronics are having multiple souls in them. However, if remnant is injected into a living human, it prevents them from dying. My theory is that William created remnant sometime after FNAF 2. He injected himself with it. That's why he did not die from the springlock failure in FNAF 1. I hope you understood the explanation. Basically, what you need to know is remnant prevents things from dying and can only be destroyed by fire. And that's why that drawn out of explanation. Let's get back to the timeline. Surprisingly, the timeline from here on out is actually pretty simple. The events of FNAF 3, FNAF 6, FNAF, UCN, and VR and AR play out pretty nicely. First up is FNAF 3. 30 years after FNAF 1 closed in 1993, Fazbear Fright, the horror attraction, opens in 2023. Wait a minute. If it's 2021 now, in 2023, is there going to be a building called Fazbear Fright, the horror attraction? Uh-oh, I think we just experienced something. Okay, never mind. This was put together by Fazbear Entertainment as sort as an amusement park based on the unsolved mysteries of Freddy Fazbear's or FNAF pizzas. Springtrap is recovered from FNAF 1 to put him into the attraction on night 2 of the FNAF games. We presumably play as Michael Afton in the game on night 6. And on night 6, he decides to burn the restaurant. Unfortunately, Springtrap gets away, but we also have something else going on here. This is where the original 5 children get their happiest day: Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, and Golden Freddy. This is their happiest day given to them by the puppet to help them pass on. Now, I know what you're all thinking. If Golden Freddy passes on here, like all the other children, how does he appear in UCN? Well, if you guys remember, like I said, Golden Freddy is possessed by 2 people. Cassidy, yes, but also the crying child, also known as Chris Afton, from FNAF 4. Not only is the table layout suspiciously similar, but this is where the crying child gets the birthday party he never had. This explains why all of the spirits are gone except for Cassidy, who has still a bone to pick at William. Anyways, William escapes from the burning fire Fazbear Frights due to faulty wiring, and so it is sold off to an auction. This leads directly into Five Nights at Freddy's 6. I'd say about 6 months later, Henry returns for the first time in like 50 years. Him and Michael come up with a plan to finish everything. They call the 4 remaining animatronics Springtrap, who is now Scrap Trap or Peanut Trap, the puppet who has now been captured by Lefty and to bring him into the location, Scrap Baby, who is split apart from Ennard in an argument, and of course Molten Freddy after the kick out, Baby Funtime Freddy and became the new leader. They lure the animatronics into a fake pizzeria that you run for a few days now you run for a few days before everything burns in Fnaf 6. And Henry gives his final speech. Connection terminated. Just a quick side note here. There's probably more lore reveals in the 2-minute cutscene than there is than the entire series. It's only really baffling how much we can get, which I'm not complaining. This cutscene honestly makes the whole time even. I'm not complaining. This cutscene honestly made this whole timeline even possible. So anyways, getting back on track, everyone dies and leads into UCN, where Cassidy creates a personal protagonary, or just a personal. Just leave out that word. Personal for creates a. Oh man, I'm sorry. I sometimes I can't pronounce words. I'm sorry. English. Hey, English, man. English. For William to torment him forever and ever and ever and ever. We know all this thanks to the voice lines that are a lifesaver. Even if those were not in the game, we probably wouldn't be here. I cannot speak today. I do apologize. How many times do I have to say I apologize? I cannot speak today. If those were not in the game, we probably would not even know if these was canon or not. All of the voice talked about the one you should not have killed. And those are from Jacko Bonnie, Mangled, and Nightmare Freddy. And this is what Jacko Chica says. Greetings from the fire and a friend of what you should not have killed. Mangle. He is here and always watching the one you should not have killed. Nightmare Freddy. I am remade, but not by you, by the one you should not have killed. This obviously referencing Cassidy, and that being she has not gone over yet and is still unstable to forgive William to move on, unlike the others. Even Old Man Consequences tries to convince her to move on. She chooses to stay. She chooses to stay, and this would have been a fitting end to the timeline. But of course, we have Five Nights at Freddy's VR Help Wanted. Listen, I just wanted to make this clear. I don't hate the game lore. I just think this is a little unnecessary. Ultimate Custom Night is such a fitting conclusion to the story. Fitting conclusion that we need FNAF VR to continue the story. But rather reboot it in a way. It's sort of semi-reboot that kicks back the story for the new games. But at the same time, it kind of messes up the lore for the old games. Basically, what I'm trying to say is it raises more questions than answers. How are the nightmares in the game? Is Glitchtrap a copy of William? Actually, how does he escape UCN? There's a lot of questions of my. There's actually. These are just a few questions. These are just a few of my questions, but I could come up with like 20 more. But we have a lot of more explaining to do with this game. So let's dive right into Let's dive into the meat of the game's lore. Oh man, Oh man. One of the first red flags is how this game is a game within a game. The game we play is real life as Fnaf VR. Is actually a actual VR game in the world of Fnaf in the Fnaf universe. Fazbear Entertainment created this game to revive the Fazbear brand. Unfortunately, in their haste to make the game, they scanned the Spring Bonnie circuit boards William transferred to his consciousness on 2 years back, and of course, this has unleashed the anomaly of Glitch Trap into the game's code. The rest of the story about the development team and all that comes from Tape Girl. Now, we don't know who Tape Girl is. Is she veiny? Is she just some nobody? Or is she even important at all? Or is she just inconsequential? How far are we? We're close. Really, there's just not enough evidence yet. What we do know, however, is Glitch Trap tries to manipulate people to take over their minds. This is what happens to the character Veiny in this game, as we see in the Curse of Dreadbear DLC. When you collect all 5 keys in the corn maze, and when you get to the Veiny mask, you hold up the Glitch Trap plushie, and she says this. Yes, I hear you. I know. No, there's no miscommunication. I understand. Yes, I have it. I made it myself. I think you will like it. No one suspects anything. Don't worry. I'll be ready, and I will not let you down. It will be fun. This obviously sets up for security breach, but before we jump into that, let's take a quick pit stop to Fnaf AR. As I'm recording, Fnaf AR has been out for quite some time. Like probably 2 years, maybe not as that. So it's been out for a while, as we all know. And the newest game in the timeline, again, a part of the whole rebranding thing, Fazbear Entertainment wraps up the delivery service. I got Doritos. Nice. Fazbear Entertainment is really trying to hammer down the whole family-friendly animatronics and our good thing. Now, you may be wondering, why are the animatronics attacking you at this point because all the souls are gone? Well, believe it or not, it's actually Glitch Trap once again. In one of the Fnaf AR emails, it actually is trying to say that they've scanned a circuit board. They scanned the circuit boards and found a virus in the system, aka Glitch Trap hacking all the animatronics. Veiny actually works at Fazbear Entertainment, so it's actually possible that she is the only one who unleashed Glitch Trap into the system. William Afton, who is in control of the animatronics, explains a few things about their behaviors. Like how Springtrap says Nightmare's voice line in UCN. You will not be spared, you will not be saved. Something I want to address really quickly is the canonicity of the Fnaf AR skins. Some people say they are canons. Some people say they are not canons. Honestly, it doesn't really affect the overall story. So that's how I believe what you want to believe, and that leads right up to security breach. So I guess that was the complete Five Nights at Freddy's timeline up until when security breach drops. Whoa! Oh my God! All right, we are done. Woo! How long have I been streaming? Dear God. Oh my God, I've been streaming for 55 minutes. Woo! We're done! Yay! Oh my God. Well, we're done. Oh my God. I've been streaming. Oh, man. Alright, that is probably the whole Five Nights at Freddy's timeline until security breach until it comes out. So before I leave, I want you guys to give your own personal opinions in the chat. How was this? Is it interesting? Is it interesting? Was there any mistakes in the timeline? Did I mess anything up? I just want you guys to give your own personal opinion about this timeline that I took a lot of time. In researching and so on. So I want you guys to give your own personal opinion in the comments section down below or in the chat. But if you guys really did enjoy this timeline, make sure you guys subscribe, turn on post notifications so you guys never miss a video. And once you guys all do that, you guys will become part of the Ignited Army. But anyways, thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed this timeline. Again, it took me a very, very long time to do this, and a lot of time to type this. So I really hope you guys did enjoy this stream. If you didn't, then I'm sorry. But if you did, please make sure to hit that thumbs up, because this took a lot of time to type and whatnot. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next stream. Goodbye!